Okay. So, action taken, we'll just announce that we're moving Lane over to the 743, or what did I say? Sales, oops, 1743.
You got a CL, so.
What else?
And that'll be effective on what date?
Uh,
Will we go back?
Probably we usually go back, yes.
So to May 21st,
Yep. First, yes.
all right?
All right.
That will conclude that. That's all you got?
Yeah.
Wow.
Unless you guys had something. I looked at some bridges with him there
We went on a field trip.
Friday.
Oh, you went on a road trip? Well, good.
So we're gonna get some of them, fixed up, whatever. So, I got them guys looking at it today.
Are they looking at that one off of 208?
Uh-huh. Yeah, we got side of them barges 2x4s nailed together. I put them
That's what
on,
they are.
yep. On end.
On in. So that draw, excuse me,
So,
We were hopelessly lost around Bern the other day, and but we were 2 miles south of the road between Bern and the 5 Mile Corner. I'd have to look it up. Anyhow, that's across that creek there. That's a big creek. That's a big bridge. They're inspecting that. I hope that overall is good for a while, because that's a long bridge.
yeah,
I didn't look it up, but I'm sure it's on the list. But that's a big bridge. It's a long ways over that.
well,
Yeah, Kathy's got.
and then I did tell you,
Where you at?
And
Bill said if you needed.
Yeah,
we did
Washington
Township.
Yeah.
No.
yeah, we're gonna,
think Washington.
we gotta get that, well, if it ever dry out, we're gonna go down and get that tree out of the bridge. And I had them all loaded up, ready to go do that, and then it rained.
All right. We're in.
Supposed to be a nice, I mean, it was good.
Chase my rain away.
Why, you like it? Well, I heard you like your corn installed, you know?
I didn't get out of that. Actually, that's my original Chase my penny.
He just wants this one back. You can have that one back. He needs that silence too.
Oh yeah, is that what you're after here? You want to dry up, so it burns up, so you get cheap feed for your cheap cattle.
So like I said, $100,000.
Yeah.
That one right there.
Yeah, we just got them guys home chips. Yeah, the bridge guys get going too.
It does. I'm sure it's on.
It looks like
I guess I just do it. That'd be free.
After today, it's supposed to start.
So you think that was right there by Griffith's?
I was thinking we were on 208. And we were.
You're out by where it says that, miles down. On 200, that's a big bridge.
You're right, I lied. We were on
Yeah, that is a
200.
big bridge.
That's
We
how
were on
long.
200.
That's how long.
We went a mile south.
Yeah, that is a big.
That was the one that we looked at? Oh, you're looking at the same one?
On 200, on the church road.
Yeah,
We went a mile south, I forgot.
yeah.
Or west. Oh, I'm riding on Sidbacks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You guys went across.
Well, no, we were a mile north yet.
Were you?
Yeah, we were a
Okay.
mile north, so, yeah.
So,
Which bridge was he on?
and there's another, so. There's 200, here's 2. Well, there's gotta be a bridge there, is there? That's the same creek. The Nemaw,
Not a regular this year.
well, I guess there isn't.
You
Oh,
all
that's-
from Gary?
We were all lost.
You guys were too.
Oh, that's on Griffith's. Yeah,
That's that entrance, I think.
there's not.
Yeah.
You got like Rubik's Cube.
Let's go.
Yeah, I know, just listening. I was coming back in here to take a nap.
Seriously, he's got better things to do.
I think you're better off staying.
Oh, we were up over by Hex.
That's like Matt said, like,
And we have had issues with that over and over.
Well, I talked to Bill and he said that, the front well on the dropping board, what went off into that? One, well, they knew it was there, but it was foggy. They didn't know it was that close yet. Well, the one didn't really know the area and went off. He's like, I'm surprised nobody's got hurt with that yet.
We'll get that.
That's got,
I got that guy working.
that's a really odd intersection. Yes, it is.
That's weird. So, yeah, we'll get that taken care of. Alrighty.
Okay, guys, thank you.
See you guys.
See ya.
Yep. Have anything, just call.
Guys,
Will do.
Alright, thank you, boss. Yep, see you guys.
We'll see you.
Yep. Thanks, Gary.
See ya, Adam. Have a good day.
anything from?
Thanks for keeping it short.
I know.
Good job.
Not here.
Hey, was there any, other budget requests?
No,
Well, there's already
As I said,
Gay
one-
is there.
Good job. Oh, is it?
Hi, Mitzi.
Hello. And somebody's coming into the conservation district, so they'll probably have that.
Morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm swell, how are you?
Great.
I'm just gonna let you guys know, I hired 2 summer helps. Aiden Caffrey that we had before and Garrett Stokely who we had before. They both came back, so.
Didn't we know that?
Yeah, but I didn't officially say it.
I see.
Officially
Okay.
saying it,
Word on the street or
they're,
something, yeah. Yeah.
they were wanting to come back official.
Do you know a date now on?
Yep.
Okay,
You can have that.
perfect. That's exactly what I need.
And both, they were here last year and maybe the year before, these boys, or?
Aiden was,
Yeah, but
Garrett was Garrett's second year, so. So they're already out doing stuff. That's good. I have 2 townships that have already contacted me about spraying, so we're working on one already and we've got one working on right after that one, so. 2 set up and moving through, so. And my tractor showed up on Friday.
oh, yeah, new tractor, yeah. Mower.
Not yet. He didn't give me a date, he just said weeks,
Right.
so. Checking on that soon.
So it's in town, but you don't have it.
The,
Tractor.
no, I have the tractor.
Oh, you have it?
I
Oh,
have the
okay.
tractor.
I see. Okay.
It's been up and down the road a couple times.
Oh, yeah, oh, look, right.
Yep, showed up on
Okay.
Friday,
I see.
take her out, make sure she's running like a dream.
Starts and everything, huh?
Yeah, drive down the road, it's amazing.
That's good.
It's very green,
Well, good, okay.
so everything's going good there. Nope, nothing new, so that's it.
Okay,
Keep you guys up to date.
all right, well, thanks, Mitzi.
Have a good week.
Will, as long as the weather cooperates,
The short week. Good week.
that's okay. It was too rainy to do anything yesterday.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been a good day to, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Mitzi.
Hey, did they both go over to Sabetha?
Yes, they've already done.
Morning, everyone.
Hey,
How are you, Russell?
Good.
Okay, you let me know and I'll look at it.
That's what you want.
Good.
All right, yeah.
Helicopter pad for this from Acer.
Is that the one for up there in Burn?
Burn and Wetmore.
So that just, both of them gonna be about the same cost?
Yeah, the Wetmore one, the cost went up just because of the, if you do rock and haul and stuff. I did say something to Adam and he said they could probably help us out with that too, so.
He will help you out with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
We'll gravel the driveway.
honestly, I thought them were actually pretty good bids.
Well, you thought somebody told you it'd be 6,000, give or take. Yeah.
I mean, AHRS is just right across the street from where we're gonna put it up in Burn, so.
Yeah. See a timetable for his probably on here. Is there? So what they tell you, they get to it as soon as they could.
Yeah, I just have to give them the go ahead on
Yeah.
either one.
Surely they won't have to bring a pump truck in for these, will they?
I don't see a reason to at all. When I saw the
Bring a
pump,
pumper truck in to
Yeah.
pour,
that's expensive.
oh, was.
But I thought it was pretty reasonable on the quote, actually.
They had two of them. Yeah. So this, will come out of your budget, or
I was hoping not.
it was all, I couldn't remember what you said, Russell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I don't know if we've discussed that yet, Gary.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
well, come out of your budget this week, Russell.
Yeah.
Rest of business.
But anyway, I thought the bid was pretty spot on. So. We just need to verify exactly where we're gonna put them. So we have areas where we're looking at,
I see.
just to make sure. So. Otherwise.
Anybody else send in a bid? You talk to anybody else?
I'll get a hold of some more for Wetmore. The burn, I wasn't probably gonna do any more than that, just HRS. They're literally just a couple hundred feet away from where we're gonna do it. If you want me to get more bids for burn, I can. They said they could do it in a day. They'd just be right across from where they're at.
Yeah, I bet.
Otherwise,
But back to that, there's no state money for this type of thing.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And another thing I'm still waiting on for Wetmore is I contacted the state to make sure we're okay putting a driveway out to the highway.
Oh, boy, well, you better get over that hump. before
Yeah,
we
and
do
if that doesn't
anything.
work, we're gonna have to go to county prison. So I'm still waiting to hear back from the state.
I see.
That could be a real zinger.
So is the county road has how far? A lot further.
That's just, you're exactly right, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's two driveways going up to the highway already, that we just have to rock. But depending which one we choose, but if we have to do a different area, that might change things.
This would be off of 9, probably, and require a tube there and,
Possibly.
yeah,
Just depends on where we can put it.
I see.
The state was gonna go down and look at it. Let me know.
Well, we better get that approval before we do anything.
Yeah,
Maybe the
before anything
might
like
say
that.
absolutely not. They're getting kind of picky about additional.
But anyway,
Yeah, well, I'd say keep those till, you'll hear from them probably before too long.
should.
Yeah,
I was hoping I'd hear from last week. I know.
yeah.
And then we've had 3 individuals come in here to do bids on the fire alarm system. So I'm just waiting to hear back from them. Had a guy here last week, kind of lost track. They kind of came up with a better way of doing it. So we'll just see what the cost is. They're gonna run a main line downstairs on the wall and then drill up to the floor for the offices up here. Just go through the floor instead of running one up here and one down there. Just go through. So, anyway, just waiting to see what the bid is and have your antacids ready,
Huh?
have your Tums ready.
Your antacids.
I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Called out a bunch of stuff exposed out there. I don't relish that. Okay.
Because what it would be is an alarm in each office and a wire coming up in the basement. The basement would just have one wire going across the wall. And there would be a panel wherever they decide to put the panel. But they keep switching it around.
So these are, that's a good question. We're not sprinkling the place. These are
No.
just alarms.
Just the one.
So when the Dr. Cup machine catches on fire, Mary Kay knows about it up there.
Yes,
So these are, what are these? Are these just heat sensors?
yes.
You gotta run a power to a heat sensor?
There'll be an alarm and a strobe, and then they'll have pull stations. So you have 2 pull stations up here, or 1 or 2, I don't know if they're telling you. So you pull the fire alarm. Then there'll be a strobe in each office. So, and then one in the courtroom. every office and the break room. Anyway, we'll just see what the bid is and discuss. it.
Yeah, none of this, as just a question before, none of this can be done. We don't want to use, without running a wire to it, not remotely, but,
Everything has to have a water.
Not a dollar smoke detector.
Can any of this be done at the same time to running that cat? Phone cable?
I'm just waiting to hear back on bids, so.
He's coming to do that pretty quickly. I know we talked about maybe, not this weekend, but next weekend, the 12th and 13th. When he was gonna, he was gonna try to do a lot of it over a weekend.
Anyway, the only other thing I have is the burn tornado siren. Hopefully, we're just waiting for somebody to stand it up and drill a hole. Evergy's doing that for free. They donated a pole and they're gonna stand it up for them. So
oh, great.
just wait to get that done and then get power into it. So,
And they're putting that right beside the building,
yeah, right behind that fire station.
behind it, yeah.
Because they're gonna try to put all the controllers and everything inside the building instead of exposed like all the other ones, which would be nice. But,
That's it, Martin.
Have it inside. Yeah, that'll be nice.
we're gonna make noise here in 15 minutes. So we're doing our tornado
So
siren.
this is it.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, it is the first Tuesday.
That's where I'm heading next.
Alright.
Maybe Dylan wants to push the button in front of me.
I do.
Last time I did, nothing worked.
That's funny, not work. That's not a good deal, is it? If the EM pushes the button and nothing happens, why?
I just stay away from it now.
I
Yeah.
always say that's the thing that makes the explosive guy most nervous, is when he presses the button and nothing happens.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, anything else?
Okay, Russell, not to my knowledge.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good week.
You too.
See you.
See you, Russell.
It's really not that good. I hate to do this with myself, so then I get that. I made it 24 by 20 last summer. I don't feel like doing it again. Quarter slide for a 36-foot grade down.
See, Mary Kay sent me that electronically to sign for that relief act.
And then I think I forwarded to all of you the email that I got back from the treasury that they had received.
So you guys knew, yeah.
Received the application.
Say that again, because I didn't.
No, that's fine. Gary was saying, so, one of the things that I worked on last week was making our application or our request for the American Rescue Act funds. And, once I got all that put in, they sent it electronically to Gary as the chief elected official to sign. And then we got a response back from the Treasury saying that our application had been submitted. And I think I forwarded that to all of you guys, so. Yeah, you wouldn't have seen that if you can't get in your emails.
Yeah.
I thought after I did it, I thought, does this commit us 100%? And does it? And,
Do we even know what's in it yet? I mean,
well, I mean,
what we can do with it, or who's all supposed to be entitled to it?
I mean, as far, what I know right now is I can tell you the amount that we're expected to receive, and then about 1.9 million. And then we have until 2024 to use it, but as far as what it can all be used on at this point, I'm not real clear on. But I think that Carolina's been following webinars and stuff that they're having about that. And I also let her know that I got this application done and submitted.
I talked to her the other day, and she said she had a webinar like that day. And, so, but anyhow.
So, Gary, on the last time, didn't we have to adopt a resolution to receive that and send that in to receive that money? I don't know if this kind of replaces that resolution or.
Well, let's see, why do I want to say that because we did that, we don't have to this time? I don't know why I say
We'll just have
that.
to see, they'll let us know.
Yeah.
If we need to, I think.
Got it.
We haven't done anything with that all out on that street. Left for a couple weeks ago. Well, there's two of them here, then I'm probably gonna have to ask some questions to everybody off. Ask them when.
So that's a pink one.
These ones? Oh, no, that one. That one? Look at that. Our job is buy everybody's meals now too.
We did, I thought we did several years ago. Did we put a cap on that?
No, I don't think we put a cap on it. I think we just said something about reasonable.
Yeah, we didn't put a number on it, we talked about it for that very reason.
I guess if it were me, I would like to see, like, it looks like it's for two people.
But there's no details there, who,
But,
what, when.
yeah, but I think she should have put who else was.
Well, and, yeah, and we
I
had
don't see
that,
that anywhere.
but,
She did sign the receipt, but
Huh?
She did sign the receipt at the
Oh,
top
up there, I see it. I
Yeah.
hadn't seen that before.
But,
Okay.
but whoever else, I think, needed to sign it as well. Because when you say, I mean, it looks
Right,
like
well,
it's two.
yeah, there's that in that, so, yeah.
I'll see that.
Whoops.
Region. Nobody signed any of that.
Of these.
But Jason, it is in our handbook that when we travel to meetings. Let's see if I can find it.
I can see if you're out of town. I guess you're out of town. Not by much.
That was in my order.
Not like you stayed overnight.
What? Well, that just would have been for, this would have been for cars and stuff. And we got the potting soil. Where did that go?
This is what it says here.
Mhm.
Do you know about this or anything?
Good morning, boys and girls.
Hi, Rich.
How are we today? You hiding in the back?
Hi, Bob.
Hey.
Oh,
What are we talking about this one?
Well, yeah.
Congratulations, Ken.
Thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. We had a good,
Yeah.
good time.
Yeah,
Had a
we
good
have to
turnout.
send something to.
I honestly think we
Like,
played
you
as
cannot
well as
send
we
by-
did as well as we were capable of physically
You have to
doing.
send it.
That's
I don't
by
think we
mail,
could have got
send it
third,
like certified.
even with
Yeah,
the second
sure.
day of play.
Okay.
That's what it is.
And Trent played exceptionally well. the
You
first
got
day.
state champion.
Yeah, it's the second one that's come out of Centralia now for state champions. So no, they did really, really well and great kids, you know. I did put my letter of resignation in for that, just so you guys know, and it's not a big deal, but, yeah, it was getting a little bit too hectic for me trying to get everything done and trying to do this job and take care of that. It's been one of the most hectic years I've ever had for that, so. They're gonna try to find somebody else. Now, I did leave it kind of open-ended. If you can't find absolutely anybody else, call me and I'll do what I can.
So having said that, you're still.
No, my letter of resignation went in, it went out for
Who are you
It
kidding?
went out for bid, so hopefully somebody else, I've already actually talked to somebody else and told them that I would help them on
Yeah.
occasion if they wanted to pick it up and, you know, obviously if anybody that's ever taught or had anything to do with teaching it, you don't do it for the money. I mean, you know, there's not much money involved in that, so, I think the first year I ever got paid to actually do it, I think it worked out to like $6.80 an
Oh, I'm
hour or
sure.
something like that, you know.
Surprised
it's
it
not-
was that high.
But no, kids are great, and
Yeah,
I really
good for them.
enjoyed it. I think I've done it about 10 years now, and yeah, we had a good time.
Some shot a 78.
Yeah, Trent Morris shot a 78. You'd hard to believe the first tournament he ever shot, he shot a 132. As a
Really?
freshman.
Wow, he came around.
Yeah, nobody outworks Trent. He's there working every day, you know, and he did have one advantage also, he never got a girlfriend. So that never got in the way. I'll be honest with you, girlfriends are a high school golfer's demise. I mean, you know, my son won state as a sophomore, got a girlfriend as a junior, never saw the top five again. I mean, you know, but, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but what it is time that they would have been spending doing playing golf. Is now,
Putting and chipping.
you know,
They were at the
now
movies.
they're spending doing something else.
Yeah.
Exactly right. So, anyway, so I got a few things. First of all, I've had another dispatcher that is leaving us as a full-time dispatcher. Angel O'Neill is going to be leaving us and going as a city clerk here in town.
She's been with you a long time.
4 years.
4 years.
Oh, okay.
Natalie was with us for 14. Both of them had the same, their kids are at the age that they need to be around and be at home, and they're struggling with the night shifts and that type of thing. Now she does want to stick around and be a relief dispatcher, so hopefully we can use her to fill in some holes. Because I'm telling you right now, we got holes. I mean, that's 2 now. We've been advertising for 3 weeks, and we got a grand total of applications. So. And we're trying to run 24 hours a day now. Obviously, we've made some concessions that I didn't want to make, but we've had to make some concessions because we don't have enough people to cover everything. So Heather Robinson is also, we're moving her up. She's doing well. She's moving up from training to level 1. We went to these sheets that I did Mary Kay for hiring, and when they're gone or leave, whatever, we also put change of status on there. So when they come over, you'll know what we got on there. So we'll be moving her up from training to, so she'll be setting at 1750 for full-time level 1 dispatcher. So,
Well, good.
and then I think I've already given you this, but I wanted to bring it over with Natalie left back on the 7th. I know I talked to you about it. I think I gave you one, but she went from full-time to relief back on the 7th of May. But I think I already gave you one of these, but I wanted to make sure.
Been working for you a little bit though, helping out,
No.
Natalie? No? Okay.
No, she's busy learning a new job, and I'm sure Angel will be too when she first leaves. I mean, they don't want to help. I understand that, but you're going from something you just did for 14 years to a brand new subject. I mean, brand new,
Mm-hmm. Everything.
so, and then of course the stuff we're really short for right now are midnights, and because we've had to move everybody else up to try to cover day shifts, so midnights are really short. Well, that's one of the reasons she got away. She got away from here was because her kids is not working midnight.
Yeah.
So I don't know the answer, gentlemen. I just don't know. We've struggled. You guys helped us out. We moved the pay up a little bit, thinking maybe that would help. And obviously, they're not flocking to our door.
Rich, what was the resignation date for Angel?
The 5th of June.
Mhm.
Yeah, she will be moving from full-time to relief dispatcher on the 5th of June. Believe me, I've spent hours thinking about this at night and laying in bed, the whole 9 yards, trying to figure out a way. We're good. We've sent out a few now, so we haven't got anything in.
You're not the only one looking for help when you look through the courier. I mean.
No, it's not just the courier, Jason. We were in Omaha yesterday. We drove up to Omaha yesterday, my future daughter-in-law's birthday, and we were driving down to Old Town down there, where we went to Spaghetti Works. I don't know if you guys know where that's at, but, and every single storefront had hiring. We're hiring. And I think, and I don't know how many people around here are actually taking advantage of the extra 300 for unemployment. I have no idea. But I think until we put a stop to that, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out if you're making $700 a month sitting at home doing nothing and $500 a week working. I mean, that doesn't work. So I don't know, and it's gotten steadily harder and harder to find people that are wanting to do nights and weekends and holidays and shift work and
Sure.
stuff like that,
I don't want to work, Ben.
Yeah, no, I understand, but unfortunately, it has to be done. So,
Russell broke it.
Russell's test.
He touched the button.
First
He told the
Tuesday.
button to touch.
I hope it ain't broke. I think I gotta go off in 3 minutes.
Yeah, it usually takes a while.
3 minutes he keeps them going?
I think
I
so.
don't know, it's a little while. I know last time I was like, is that thing ever gonna quit?
Yeah.
Speaking of broken,
Oh, boy.
yeah, I got a visit from the friendly neighborhood fire marshal. And
You can lock the doors.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's some people in the world you really don't want to upset, and they probably are one of them. Although this guy I don't think needed to be upset. We went through the last 3 years and had virtually no problems with the fire marshal. I mean, it's a brand new building. Brand spanking new building. So this time we were not so fortunate. a lot of little stuff. The fire extinguisher box in the kitchen doesn't have the word fire extinguisher on it. We can fix that, but, I'll take a black magic marker and put fire, whatever. But the biggest one is they're now telling me, and I'm gonna be checking on this, because I had to call somebody this morning to find out what the hell it was. They're gigging us saying that we don't have load tests on our generator. They only got this one. I don't think he said anything about the other one. Yeah. He's saying that we're required to have an annual load test. And after doing a little bit of calling around, Caterpillar and Cummins are the only ones that do load tests. And you can imagine what that's gonna cost. So I'm gonna do some checking around, and because technically, the first of every month, today, when our generator works on, we go under a load. So it throws the jail under a load on the thing. And that does that once a month. The rest of the time, it just brings the generator up, lets it run, and it shuts it back down. So I don't know. I got to call down there and this guy's getting a little silly. I mean, like I said, there was some other little small stuff. We'll easily appease them. We'll take care of it. It won't be a big issue. But that one, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised anyone charges $4,000 or $5,000.
Well, remind them that generator was in fact sized to accommodate any load that the jail
You know what
might have.
your problem is? We don't have the document that says that. And then that's the problem. And then according to the person I talked to about the load testers, they bring in this trailer that has these heaters on it. They can, it's kind of like a dyno machine where they can turn up. Yeah. And they could set that thing on the generator, keep turning that thing up to know what it will do. I guess that's their idea. So I don't know. I'll be arguing with them and we'll figure something out.
Yeah. Well, take your gun with you. I mean,
I don't think that's all I'm gonna work. Sugar before vinegar.
There you go. You're right.
Anyway, are you guys familiar with Narcan? You know what Narcan is? This is Narcan.
Nasal spray? Oh, is that for like allergies or something?
No. Well, I guess you could call it an allergy. This prevents overdosing in.
Oh, wait a second. People
that are heroin, fentanyl, stuff like that. Depressants. We got this through the state of Kansas about 3 years ago, and we issued it to each and every officer. Haven't used it a lot. In fact, I don't know if we've ever actually used it. But what it does is it stops the effects of these drugs for about 20 minutes, instant. You stick it in their nose, you push it in their nose, and whatever.
back.
Yeah, because they're gonna go into DTs immediately. But anyway, the problem I have right now is this stuff is all expired. This box here expired in October of 2019. I went and checked on the cost of it. This box right here is over $100. There's 2 applicators inside. I'm going to be doing some checking with the state to see if there's any funding, grants, anything out there for this stuff. If I did what I have right now, and I have one, and each officer has one box, and I have a couple boxes over in the jail, that's actually where we're most likely to see it. And in the reserve cards, you're talking $1,500, $1,800 to try to get all that stuff. So I'll be doing some calling around. Just wanted to give you guys a heads up on what's going on with that. I think it's incredibly important. Probably for us, the most important thing is almost a lot of the drugs today are tinted with fentanyl. That means they contain some part. If you get much fentanyl on you, even on your skin, it can put the officer down. It can kill them. It's 81 times more powerful than morphine. And it just shuts their system down. This stuff will stop it. We carried as much for that. I know they tested some heroin that we found here in town last week. Last week you tested it. I took it outside, tested it. Dude, you have everything they have here or they have in the cities. It's just not as much. Heroin really became popular in rural areas when pill addictions came in. Heroin and pain pills are very, very similar. with the exception of pain pills. Sometimes they're very, very, very hard for them to get. Heroin becomes very easy for them to get. And the problem being is that obviously this heroin's made in somebody's lab, somebody's quote unquote bathtub someplace. And then in order to increase the potency of it, they'll mix it with fentanyl, which is a very cheap, very dangerous drug. And then the best way for somebody to promote their product is kill somebody. I mean, that's fact of the matter. They kill somebody, they know that everybody around knows their product is good, and it happens. You know, there's cities in the world today that this stuff is given out to people on the street to keep their buddies from. And, you know, they have grant initiatives in Detroit and places like that they actually will give Narcan out to citizens walking down the street, kind of like they did the needles in San Francisco when they tried to stem AIDS and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna be looking at replacing some of this stuff. If I have to buy it, I will. It's something that isn't used very often, no, but it's something that needs to be around. And I don't want to lose an officer because we didn't have anything there that could have stopped it. And it's only good for about 20 minutes. One of these deals is only good for about 20 minutes, but that'll hopefully allow the ambulance service to get there. You can't give them another one if they start to go out again. 20 to 40 minutes should be anywhere in the county should be enough for getting an ambulance there, and they have on board, they have stuff treated on board.
So you mentioned, Bob, that's administered. Somebody goes into detox to the
They're gonna come up swinging.
Yeah,
Well, that's what
they're gonna be very
Is
unhappy.
this putting your life in danger?
Yeah.
Question.
To a certain extent. It's keeping them from dying, but it can turn into a very hostile. We may have to wrestle with them right after we give them this, in order to take care of stuff. Yeah, so it may look bad in the newspapers, you know, we're wrestling with this guy that's ODing and, you know, we're trying to save his life one minute, we're trying to put a handcuff on him the next minute. I mean, you know, that there's no real good, scenario, but I'm not gonna just let him lie there and die either. And, you know, in the way, when we got the instructions on these things and our policy says if we find an unconscious person, we have any reason to believe it could be drugs at all, we stick this in their nose and we hit them with it. It will not hurt you. If you're not high, or if has nothing to do with drugs, it won't do anything to you. All it does is go into your brains and your neural inhibitors that the electrons go back and forth on. It blocks the drug sensation from going from one neuron to another. That's all it does. It doesn't do anything to the body. It just stops the effects of the drug for a short period of time. That's all it does. We get these through pharmacists, and the pharmacists come help us with our policies, and we have, you know, statewide policies on what to do. But basically, if we have any reason to believe that they're laying there unconscious because of drugs, we hit them with this stuff, and hopefully it'll bring them back. And I guess having a fight's better than the day. So that's the long and the short of it.
What's the shelf life on that?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, I mean, there you go back again to the whole pharmaceutical world. Is the drug actually still good in here? Or is it, you know, they say we got to keep it between, you know, we don't want it freezing and we don't want it getting over like 140 degrees, whatever it is. But, you know, in true, I mean, right now they're carrying this, so they're going to use it until we can get some new stuff. But is it good? Is it not good? You know,
Sits in the car all the time. It's been cold. It's been hot.
yeah. I don't know.
But getting back to what you were saying, when the officer was testing the product, we had another officer with a box of it.
Standing there watching.
Standing by waiting in case something bad.
But we just don't know. We don't have, you know, large agencies will have a hood, what they call a flow hood in their evidence room where they can put this stuff under a flow hood, which sucks air out, and then you test it underneath that, and if there is anything in it, sucks it out. We don't have that. So we go outside and do the best we can. Luckily, we've never had any big batches of it. Probably the biggest arrest we've had, we had a half pound of heroin, and that involved the highway patrol and the DEA, and they took over I don't want fentanyl in my jam. I don't want it in my evidence room. I don't want it anywhere around. I mean, you know, anything, mouse comes, shoots a hole in a bag. I mean, you know, and it can get up. It'll be a dead mouse, but you know, it can get up in the
Too late then.
yeah. So get up in the systems and be blown around. So it's nasty stuff, and it comes out of China, and it's incredibly cheap for the dopers, and yeah, it's not good stuff. You guys have anything for me? Anything else I need to?
Business still,
It's down a little bit. I mean, we've had a lot of what I would call springtime activities. We've got driving while suspenders coming in. We got DUIs coming in, those types of things. Nothing real major. Right now, we've got a couple of relatively major things we're working on that could see some people come in on a longer term effect. I don't know how they'll turn out yet. I mean, it's still part of an investigation. So
holding,
I think we're holding 8. I didn't look this morning.
As of yesterday, it was
7. Yeah, like I said, it varies. You know, we can have 2 people come in today from driving unsuspended by night or not.
Right.
So it's not, we do have some, well, I want to say some time service, got a couple people coming in for a week or something like that. It's not anything major. And as far as I know, we don't have any jury trials set up right now. We did have a pretty big elderly abuse case, money-wise, came up, but the 2 people that we had warrants for those actually got arrested outside of the county, and they actually bonded, which surprised me, but they bonded outside of the county, and I mean, those were $100,000 more, so I figured we'd have them, but we didn't, for now anyway. So. Next week, I don't know, I don't think I've talked to you guys about it. I'm on the Kansas Sheriff Association board. And we have a meeting next Monday. They're looking to put the office of sheriff, do a constitutional amendment for Kansas and put the office of sheriff as a constitutional office instead of just being a legislative office, which is what it is now, which would mean it would take a constitutional amendment to take it back off. But that's what they're looking at doing anyway. I'm going to be in a meeting down there next Monday morning for that. So Darren, I think, will be around next Monday morning. He may slip over to see you guys. And then the 13th, the week of the 13th. Don't tell anybody that the sheriff's gonna go on vacation. I think I'll take a little time. Yeah.
The wrong year to put it over there.
Yeah.
I mean,
You got too much to worry about with that.
Bob will be over to see you on the 14th and
Okay.
do something, and we'll be back in gear. Right now, we're finishing up trying to take all of our vacation, and I think I've only really got one. I know I talked to you guys a little bit here the other day about possibly paying out one dispatcher. To be honest with you, his words were, I don't care if I get paid for it or not. So, but I care whether he gets paid for it or not. So. But I think everybody else, we're going to have it under the wire before the pay out in July. So, or be really, really close. So, got a couple of prospects on some people, some fill-ins, some relief people, which should become very, very useful in times like this when we got a lot of vacation to take up and that kind of stuff. So, but they're not finalized yet. So, when I get done talking with them, I'll talk with you guys, let you know who they are and what's going on. So. Anything else for us?
see, cars, in and, in service?
Oh, no. They're in. 2 of them are. The 2 cars are in. That seems to be having a hard time getting them set up. I know why.
You mentioned, Bob, that they had them in and
Right. They're both stripped out. One of them's about half put back together, and the other one hasn't been started to put together yet. So I know why it is. They'll get it. There's an issue, and I know, like I said, I know what it is. Public doesn't even know what's going on with it, but it's a worker issue, a family issue. So anyway.
So it's not gonna cost us 10.
No, I don't think it's gonna cost, they're still expensive, I mean, you know
Well,
that,
yeah,
you've seen them,
I've
but
seen
I don't
them.
know, if they're not working on them, it doesn't cost us money. I mean, I still think you'll see probably roughly 40 hours of work. You know, that's about what it takes anymore to, you know, I wish we had the days back when we had like 2 things to move over and they did it for $600, you know, that would be awesome, but that unfortunately is not happening. So, and I think, you know, every time I see one of those and they come across my desk and I cringe and you know, I get a little bit of seed in my butt and all this kind of stuff when it comes across. And I call people like Morris or Jaeger down there and talk to them about what they're getting charged for KCOM to do these cars. And we're doing, we moving, you know, it's, and.
Makes you feel better?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Oh, yeah,
I
we're not going down there.
Yeah.
I know of a car that took them almost 3 months to put together and cost them $11,000. That wasn't for pieces and parts, that was just yeah. So yeah.
Well, I had to have my camera worked on last week, and, you know, basically when I'm driving around, I see my camera and my screen, and that's all. But when they put the floorboard up and look at all the wires and things that are connected to this system, that you have an appreciation for, you know, why it takes so long to put some of that stuff.
But the center consoles that we have in our car, they have the radios and stuff set in them, you know, they look they look big. You know, but when you take the caps off the top of them and look underneath it, you know why they're so big. I mean, they're just wire after wire after wire running back into it. It's a interesting thing.
Hey, Rich, if you have just a second, I want to update you guys on something and then ask you a question. So I've heard back from CIC about training on the time clock plus, and they are planning to come July 7th, 8th, and 9th. His plan is the first day to kind of work on installing stuff, and then the second day, I think, work on with my clerks on how to use the system, and then the third day, work with all the department heads on learning how to clock in and out and learning what they need to do.
The ninth would be a Friday.
Yes.
So there's a Friday.
Okay, so my question there is, Rich, I think a while back Amy had said something about you guys may need to order some additional equipment that,
I didn't know, I thought we turned it in. We need a wall unit for dispatch and one for jail.
okay, she said something about that, but I haven't ordered it yet because I wasn't sure what you wanted.
I don't know what
I think
exactly
there's-
one either, but
Wasn't there one you could do with a PIN number, one you could do with a card, and then the biometric one that you would do?
I don't need
with the thumb?
biometrics, so either.
There's a proximity too, when you walk into the area, it'll read that. If one of them just do-
I guess what I envisioned was putting one inside the main door of the jail, whether it be just a push button deal or a card reader, I don't care which one. And then one inside of dispatch where they can push button. It's gotten to the point where with deputies, I'm still trying to come up with a scenario or solution. I know it sounds simple when you say, yeah, they're gonna clock in, but it's not that, because not all my people have phones that are smart. I am considering putting MDUs in the cars, limited MDUs. But that is not an overnight. We're working with FirstNet right now. That's a company, a phone company that basically deals strictly with law enforcement and first responders. We're looking at working with them. We've got some sample stuff from them right now as far as putting possibly an MDU in the cars along with a hotspot in the car. So basically they would have the ability to get their emails, the ability to contact or get into our RMS system, and the ability to log in or clock in through that system. That's not going to be an overnight thing. I'm not going to get it overnight. So we're going to have to come up with a system, whether, I don't know, we'll come up with something to figure out how to get it done for the deputies. That's, once they go in their cars, they're on duty. I'm not going to ask them to drive all the way in here to clock in and then drive back. So, like I said, I've got 3 that don't have smartphones, don't want smartphones, don't have any use for a smartphone, and I'm not going to make them get that. And I despise the idea of carrying 2 cell phones there. I really do. So I'll figure out something. I'll figure out a way to make that work. I've got several that are interested in having the MDUs. I'm kind of old school. I wasn't a big MDU fan, but if it gets us to an end of the means, we may end up doing that. That's just another cost in the car, too. So we'll figure it out.
More wires.
More wires.
Yeah.
For the jail and the
Simple as
dispatcher,
that,
you
isn't
want the card, or you want them to put a PIN number in? So they'd have to
PIN
type
number is the simplest to me,
PIN number,
yeah.
fine, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't know if the same system does both or whatever, but I mean, we carry entry cards. I don't know whether the same card, but I think a PIN number, 1134 or whatever, you just put it in it, you log in.
My
one-
understanding, that's what you can do, is just
Right.
assign everybody a PIN
Right.
number, and they put that in, and that clocks it in, clocks it.
I do want to spend some time with, we need to talk with these people about what's gonna happen when it goes down. Cause it will. I know my wife, the Onega healthcare system works on something similar to this, and when it does go down, I mean, it does happen. So we need to know what we're gonna have to do, for those scenarios when it does.
Well, now that I got that, I'll be sending out an email to all the department heads, letting them know this date, this time frame. As far as, that's all I'm aware of right now.
Well, like I said, I would just add as one of the questions for them is to what do we do, when it does go down? I mean, it's like any other system, it's even, they guarantee me that my, when we went to AT&T, that my, open box will never go down. Well, they lie, So it's been down twice, by the way. Oh, it's redundant, it'll never go down and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay.
So you got your questions answered about those 3 dates, and you'll send Rich's office.
And I'll let them know. We'll
Obviously,
get
Amy's
those
my
2 more
contact over there.
minutes on the way too.
Yeah, Amy will know. If she doesn't know, she'll ask me, and I probably won't know it either.
Okay.
All righty.
Job shadow or?
Yeah, just wanted to see what I was doing up here.
Yeah, I want to make sure he just didn't leave me alone for a day.
Yeah.
Someday when you grow up, you want
Yeah.
all these headaches?
No.
Take your pick on my headaches or his
I'm gonna stay out of this kind of stuff.
You're gonna stay out? See, we're not one to hear that. We don't need you to stay out. We need you to come back and work.
Are you old enough to dispatch? maybe?
Yeah, there you go.
14, I don't know.
I got it, Mike.
We might have to make an exception.
Take him over there with you.
Yeah. We'll do a
Set
little
him
job
behind
shadow.
Bruce.
We'll job shadow by 5 o'clock. You be sitting in a chair.
Yeah.
You guys have a good day.
Thanks, guys.
See y'all.
I
Also,
do
go
have
ahead.
just got, Amy sent me back a deal. Amy's gonna be on vacation the week.
Okay,
So we may have to work out something different for us.
okay.
'Cause I don't, she's gonna be involved in it because she's way smarter than that stuff than I am.
When would she be back?
I'll call you with it. I'll let you know
Okay.
when she's back.
Because
So,
I think the next week was another option.
okay, I'll call you when she gets, I have to go. I know she usually takes 2 weeks right around the first of March. So
Okay.
I'll get with you and find out.
Alright.
She was listening to us, so.
Adam, about that.
Wonderful.
Oh, that bridge down there by USC, you got a problem.
Yes, I think so. If you're all here. We're all
East of
here.
USC.
Oh,
They're right off W Road, but if you come out of USC.
Hi.
No, no, this is north.
Hey, how's it going?
Good morning. Great.
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Dylan? Nice
Um,
to see you.
Commissioner, before we get started on this, I just wanted to let you know that Diane's coming in following this. I just didn't get her on the agenda because it was later on Friday when she recognized it. But she is coming in after this appointment.
Okay. I'll bring up that certification.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'll bring that down. Oh, wait.
I won't need it today.
No, you gotta come out today.
Thank you.
Well, you don't know what's up in that sky.
I know. I forgot what it looked like.
Yeah.
So I put together a little packet this time because we have 2 new commissioners. And I just wanted to introduce ourselves. So I'm Dana Schmelsley. I'm the district manager for the Neola County Conservation District. And I brought Anna Baker with me. She's with the NRCS. And then we have our new employee, Alex Clark. She just moved up here from Fulton. And then Mandy Lang, she's with Pheasants Forever. So just kind of wanted to bring them so you guys get to see the new faces. You don't get to come into our office yet. We are still locked up there, but we are
Locked
Mm-hmm.
in
visiting.
or locked out?
So, I'm telling you, we're locked in, but we are seeing producers outside, quite a few of them. So, if you ever need to visit with us about anything, you can certainly do that. But just to kind of let you know who all we have. So on the front page, we have our board, which I didn't have any of them here with us today. Aaron George, Ken Kramer, Dennis Dieters, James Dobbins, and Mariah Haberkamp are on our board. We work closely with NRCS, Anna Baker, Steve O'Neill, and then we have a KACD soil technician that's through the district, and I'll go into that. And then Alex Clark is the soil conservationist, and Mandy Lang, the private lands conservationist through Pheasants Forever, and then I am employee as the district manager. And I put a picture of our board, just in case you're not familiar with who our board is and their years of service that they've been with us.
Troublemaker.
Yep,
Watch out for that King Kramer.
the ornery one, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yep, and Dennis is brand new to our board, but it's nice to have some young people on there too that kind of help bounce the ideas off. And so he's new, and Mariah is fairly new, and then Aaron's back as our chairperson again this year. It's kind of like you all, it rotates every year who's going to be the chairperson. So, and a little bit about our mission statement: to protect, conserve, and improve the natural resources of the district. We focus on water quality, soil management, to limit erosion and runoff in critical habitat areas, and guiding use through project implementation, outreach, and education of best management practices, enhancement, and development to benefit present and future citizens. So we serve the farmers, ranchers, landowners, local agencies, local businesses, teachers, and youth through technical assistance, cost share assistance, and conservation practices, and information and education. And then the next one kind of tells a little bit about the district partnerships and collaboration. So just so some of you know, because not everyone knows this, but the district gets to use some space inside the NRCS building in exchange for administrative services. And then they help us with technical services for the state conservation plan that we have for our cost share that we do. So we kind of go hand in hand, we all work together, and we do a variety of cost share projects that you see on the bottom or on the right there. And then we all work together with the Division of Conservation, NRCS, Pheasants Forever, the Forest Service, the City of Seneca, RAPS programs. And then we also collaborate with K-State Research and Extension, the Farm Bureau, KDHE, EPA, the Kansas Water Office, and the Kansas Rural Center. So there's a lot of partnerships in there. We do have an annual meeting in February, and we are hoping to open it up. We had it this year where it was people could just come in and vote, and we didn't have a meal or anything, but we always have, other than this past year, which was very different for us this year, was that we always have a meal. There's usually about 150 to 200 people there. The Bankers Association provides the meal. We always invite you all to come. We hope you come to that next year. And then that way you can kind of see some of the awards we give out. We also do the educational awards for the poster and photo contest and the speech contest. And like it says, we do Bankers Awards and youth activities. So we do a wide variety of things. We want all of the kids in the county to know where their food comes from and know about the different practices to conserve. We always put on a fourth grade ag festival. This was 2 years we couldn't do it. So we're hoping next year we will be able to do that. And then we also do a Envirothon with the high school kids to help in several different areas. Just all kinds of education with Earth Days and poster and speech contests and that kind of thing. We celebrate Soil and Water Stewardship Week. And then we also have a Women in Ag event that's huge. We collaborate with Jackson, Potawatomi, and Riley counties. And we have it in Corning. And so we'll be having another one in February. And that's kind of what the next one is about. It's coming soon. It says a Women in Ag, but men are welcome to come. And every year we have about 30 men. There's usually 250 to 275 people that come. We talk about very important topics. Both conservation related or stuff that might be helpful, maybe wills and trusts, maybe last time that we did it was depression and suicide on the farm. So we talk about some pretty serious stuff too, but we get a lot of good feedback about it. It's free to the public to come, and it's a really great event, so we're pretty excited. We get a lot of sponsors, so on the next page you'll see that. We have a lot of people that help us with it, and what we try to do is not use a lot of our own money to put it on, and we get a lot of sponsors to help with it. So like when we talked about the suicide, all of the hospitals jumped on board. They all wanted to be part of it. That's a big topic that they're trying to work with suicide and depression. So they helped last year with that. And then we have all types of sponsors, both local and statewide and national sponsors that help us as well. And then I pulled up some of the 2020 conservation investments in Nemaha County, because we do have 3 different fiscal year cycles. The federal works from October to September, the state works July through June, and the conservation deals January through December. So I wanted to go with full year numbers. So we came up with some of the 2020 numbers for the local and state projects, and then the federal projects. So on the left, I have the local and state projects. We allocated $32,670.05 for the water resources cost share dollars, and then the non-point source cost share dollars was $15,403. And we took care of 61 requests for non-cost share at 1,990.7 acres. And on the right, the federal stuff that we went through our office was $622,503.67 worth of 1,551 acres of cost share. There was 143 applications received, so there's a need for it. They were able to fund 11 of those. And then the CRP cost share dollars allocated to contracts approximately $13,569 on 183.50 acres. So right at $684,145.72 invested in Mark County in 2020. So the state and the county both contribute to our budget. The state is supposed to match up to $25,000, and then you all have been giving us $35,000. Back in last year, we got $22,180 from the state, and then you all gave us $35,000. On the next page, it talks about the unfunded state and federal applications. So the federal program, there's a little over 140 applications, and like we said, 11 of those were funded. And then for our state program, it was right at 30 applications, and we funded 24 of those. So a very good number of state applications. We also sell native grass, custom grass seed, cover crop seed, custom wildflower seed. We have available a 10-foot Great Plains grass drill, a root plow that is used quite a bit, the drip torches for the controlled burns, and then we also have a tree planter that I didn't have a good picture of, so I didn't put it on there. And then this talks about some of the plans that were developed in the fiscal year 2020. Of the ones that were out there was 2,172.7 acres of cost share, 53,889 feet of underground outlet with 238,800 feet of terracing, both storage and gradient, and 6,131 cubic yards of earthwork for ponds and grade stabilization dams. And then we also did some technical support for some non-cost share, which was 327.4 acres, of which 9,391 feet of underground outlets, 39,260 feet of terracing, both storage and gradient, and 1,500 cubic yards of dirt work for ponds, grade stabilization, and dams. So that's basically in a nutshell what the Conservation District has been up to. And you all may have some questions about some of that. I do have our budget. We are not asking for any additional funding this year. You all helped us with $35,000. Last year, you also helped us, in addition to that, with a computer and a printer. We were not expecting to have to telework and be at home, and this whole COVID kind of threw us out of the office where we were very limited on numbers. First, we were all teleworking, and then there was a very short amount of us working, and now we're at 50% capacity. So some of us have to telework, and some of us are in the office, so we're not all there to full capacity yet, based on the guidelines by the federal government. So we thank you for the help with the computer and the printer last year as well. So some of the things on here that might be a little confusing is we basically applied for 2 grants to get some additional help here for both the technician and the soil conservationist. As you can see, we have a lot of applications, and so we needed some help, and so we wrote for a grant through the National Association of Conservation Districts, and they are funding those 2 positions. So that's the great thing is that we're not, it doesn't affect our budget here at all, because they send all the money to fund those 2 positions. And so that's kind of great that we were able to do that. They're 3-year positions. With the, we don't promise it, but there are other NRCS jobs out there that if for some reason the grant's not available, they can go and apply for some of the federal positions. In fact, when we were hiring for Alex's position, we interviewed 4 people, and we hired Alex, and the other 2 were able to get federal jobs. So we actually were able to help them down the pipe for that. So it was kind of nice.
And 2 of the technicians that have come through our office that were originally hired as a technician through the district have moved on to work for NRCS. And so we definitely work together a lot to help with staffing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been working out great the past couple of years.
Yeah.
And locally hired is what most of them have been, so that's been a benefit as well.
And a lot of them are staying right here in the county, working.
So that actual in 2020, we levied for that. Is that correct, Mary Kay?
We should have levied for 35,000, I believe. When we did our 2021 budget.
So when you see in the 2020 where it says 29,650,615, usually what that means is she cuts a check and I get it usually around the 1st of January, so it carries over to the next year. So that's why you see it like that. So I think you must cut checks on the end of.
We do it around the 15th.
Yeah.
And then the end of the month.
Yep, so the end of the month one usually carries over to the next one. So sometimes you'll see it where it'll say like 37,000, you guys are like, wait, what happened? Well, the last check that you were to pay in 2020, we didn't actually deposit it until 2021, so it all evens out though.
But my question is, did that levy in 2020 only bring in 29,656?
I don't think so,
No.
not if you count what she got that.
That it
That
would
you
roll over
deposited
into
in
2021.
Back to
Yeah.
what you're going about
Yeah.
over the first
Mhm.
year. So
Yeah.
you got your 35.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, according to our end anyway, what we have sent was 35,000. And I think just on their end, depending on when they deposited it.
Yeah. So yeah, we are trying to work with what we have, not ask for additional money. I do a lot of grant writing. We do a lot of different things to try to pinch pennies all that we can. So we're not asking for any more than what we have the year before. I'm just trying everything I can to just keep the budget as low as possible. We weren't able to do a lot of the things that we do because of COVID. So we weren't able to do the educational events. I wasn't able to travel for all of the stuff that I have to travel for with meetings and that sort of thing. So that kind of helped a little bit because then we weren't spending that kind of money. But I fully anticipate coming up in the fall, we are going to be doing all of our education events. I want to be in every school. I want to go to everything that we possibly can. Everyone in this room helps with all of those events. So like SPPS usually has something usually the last week of August or the first week of September. They have a training for teachers, so they bring us in and we are teaching everybody from kindergarten to eighth grade, all different units, different things that we talk about based on their age. So that way they learn about conservation. We bring all kinds of tools that come in from across the state so they can see soil runoff, stuff like that. So then that way, they're kind of getting an education day out of it. And any school in the county that asks us to come, we are there. We want to help every single kid that we can, as far as learning about all sorts of conservation. So it's kind of great that we are able to do that, and we were bummed that we couldn't get down there and help them this year, because we're like wanting to get out of the office and teach anybody that we can. I'm like, can't we do outside? Can't we do this? Can't we do that? So SPPS said no on that, and then usually we have extension helps us a lot with our fourth grade ag festival and stuff. And I was trying to figure out how we could just do it. Well, they didn't want the intermingling of the kids with the schools, and so I was like, okay, can we just do bus stops where they just come and, you know, just trying to think of anything that we can. So I have no doubt that we're going to be doing that this coming year.
Good. I like the optimism. So explain to me Mandy's role in your office. Are you in there all the time? So how's that? Well, excuse me, I asked you a question. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm a full-time employee, so I'm on the same, we have a telework schedule, so I'm at home, working from home, or in the office. So my role is technically a private lands conservationist, so I'm a partner employee, partially funded through NRCS and partially through Pheasants Forever. I work with the district and whoever, so a lot of my work is meeting with landowners around. My coverage area extends outside of the county, but in the county and wherever else that want to do conservation projects and habitat work on their land. And so I can give them habitat recommendations and management recommendations, and then hook them up with county cost share or with NRCS cost share, federal cost share if they need that. And then also work with NRCS to do CRP checks and different things like that. I'm newer to this position, so I just started in February, so I'm still learning more about my role, but so far that's a lot of what I've been doing, and I've also done education and outreach as well.
And you take care of what other counties? That way they know.
I am in Neoha, Brown, Jackson, and then just Donovan and Atchison and Leavenworth and another one.
Are you in Fox County too?
No, I don't see it lined up. No, I didn't. I just got several more
She
added
just
to.
got this added to her slate, so she's gonna be pulled pretty thin, and the people that run the position before her were the same way. They have, 4 or 5 of you across the state?
Yeah, we're getting more.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe 7 now.
7.
So.
This county, she doesn't know
Yes, she's
They
learning.
just added. They just
Congratulations,
added
by the
to
way.
me.
She's very excited, and I will tell you that she came from Illinois, and she is very excited, and she has dove in with both feet. She's helping with all kinds of things. She got to learn how to do a controlled burn not too long ago. So she's out in the field most of the time, learning all kinds of things, boots on the ground, so it's great.
Living
In Seneca.
qualified for the RAWS program. Have you heard of that?
Roz?
I want to know more about the
Opportunity
ROS
Zone,
program.
I'm not.
Student loans.
Yes.
You need to talk to the RAWS people.
Probably either call Nancy Gaffer or go to the Kansas
You guys,
Department of Commerce's website.
Nancy's number, give her a call.
I just reached out about this because I saw it in your minutes the other day for my son who just finished college and came back to work in the county. So I reached out to them about it because I'm like, what is this? I want
Get
to
him
know
on
more.
there.
And did you guys see that they will continue that for another 2 years?
Funded it, yeah.
They funded it for another 2 years.
I'll help you with the information because we'll learn that together.
Great.
Perked up when she heard that.
What?
She
Student
did.
loans?
I know.
Hard not to have them anymore. So y'all know Lee Copeland has retired, and Anna has recently went into that position, so she is now the district conservationist. So
Officially took the job. I knew that was
Yes.
Lee's hope.
Yep.
And yeah, well, great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yep. She's a wonderful resource for our office. So if you ever need anything or have any problems or concerns that you're worried about, just give her a call.
Well, not all the time.
You can find out. If you don't know, you know somebody that can help you. Well, from time to time, the commissioners have had to call upon Lee and ask for some questions or.
Oh, we did in the last,
Mhm.
year or two.
Definitely there for any assistance. We would love to be open back up,
Yes.
but right now this is what we're dealing with,
That's dictated by the state.
federal.
You
We
guys
are-
would be under the
Yeah,
federal.
we are, NRCS is a federal agency, and we have, besides us in the building, it's FSA and farm loans. And the federal building, that's where our, I guess, orders.
So we're not even actually able to have our board meetings in the office unless it's after hours now. So, there has been some talk from the Kansas Association of Conservation Districts trying to talk to the different lawmakers about trying to push to get our offices back open. So we are really wanting to do that. We've been having to do it off-site. We've been having to find random little places to bring these 5 farmers and all of us to go sit and talk and discuss things like budgets and plans and cost share. So it has been a burden on us a little bit.
Well, I promise I won't call the sheriff if I see you having an after-hours meeting in pizza.
Well, you don't think about that whenever, this COVID thing came about. We had no idea, and I'm sure you guys are all in the same boat. We had no idea what we were up for. We had no idea how this would affect us. Had no idea that we would have to go and find some little place to have a meeting, or that we wouldn't be able to be in our offices, and all the rules and regulations of mask and all that to go with it. So it's gotten interesting over the last year.
Yeah, well, it's, everything's been interesting in the last 15 months.
Any questions for us whatsoever?
We will, and we can consider this as a budget request, I assume.
Yes, it is. For
Okay.
certified
Does the
county.
Ducks Unlimited plan with you guys instead of Star Redeemer, or?
No, they are a separate organization, but they do similar work, just more with wetlands, obviously, duck habitat and stuff like that. So they have similar positions to what I do, but we don't have anyone in our office or county that I know of, but
There's no collaboration with Ducks Unlimited as far as us. So,
Okay.
I mean, they are a partner agency, but
They do.
Yeah.
They actually go to each other's banquets and they do different things.
Well, I was gonna say, are you guys gonna do a banquet this year?
yes, hopefully. We've got a meeting scheduled for next week with the chapter for Nemaha County, and we're gonna start planning for this year's banquet.
Mhm. Well, anything like that, I'm sure she'll put you all on the list, and that way if you all want to come and be a part of it, you can. It's like a lot of our events, we'd like to see you at, even though it says Women in Ag, we'd really like to see you guys come down sometime and just see what it's all about and how we're, it's on a Saturday, we don't even get paid that day to do it, but that's what day works for the producers, is to do it then, so. If you wanna come to-
For succession planning type stuff.
We've had several different ones, we've had,
we got a lawyer out of Manhattan one year. Last year, there was a lawyer from Fulton.
from Fulton,
So, yeah, we've been trying to pull more lawyer.
talk about
What else
Piper
for us
Trust.
is that?
And it was kind of, Women in Ag was kind of born because of the fact that we had a board member that was sitting on our board which was Burton Robinson, and he died unexpectedly. And his wife had no idea where the will was at, had no idea how many cows they had no idea where their equipment was, didn't know any of that. A granddaughter had rode around with grandpa because she didn't want to go to college. She says, I think I'm going to just hang out with grandpa for the summer. And she hung out with grandpa, and if it wasn't for her, they would have no idea even where all their fields were at, where they rented from, because the husband handled everything. And even though that's a great thing, I can't even imagine, because that does not happen in my household, so my husband just handle it all. But we wanted the women to also know where this stuff was, and why you need to also have credit in your own name, and why you need to know where this stuff is at, and who you rent from, and all of that. She knew nothing. She didn't, she just didn't know. So I asked her, I said, I think I want to start doing a Women in Ag and start getting people together, so then that way we can come up with ideas to talk to them about conservation practices, but maybe have just a little 30-minute session in there to talk to you guys about wills and trusts, or cover crops or anything that you guys might want to know about, and we would ask them and we would talk with the participants from the last year of what do you want to hear about next year, and they usually tell us, and that's what we build our agenda around. So we were seeing more and more of people losing their farms, people being depressed, people going out to the back 40 and not coming back. So we just decided to do it about stress on the farm, and that's how we continue to do things. And it's been a really great program. When we weren't able to do it this year, we've had a lot of people asking, when are you gonna do it? We wanna come back, we wanna plan there's people that come from Missouri, Nebraska, they're hearing about it. We get a big article in the Grass and Grain, they come to it too, and they write a huge article about it. So it has been our mission to kind of get everybody on the farm involved with things. And then we talk about things like when you want to buy the farm from dad, what do you guys need to do? And how do you fire dad off the farm? Because he's a great asset to have, but sometimes he's holding you back from maybe something that you're wanting to do. So not all of them are like that. A lot of times the dads work forever until they decide, hey, I want to move into town, or they pass on. But just different things like that we do. Yeah, so she comes to our event as well.
She's good, isn't she?
She's good, and we actually bring in a speaker by the name of Jolene Brown, who she actually does a large scale of what Lynn does. And Lynn actually called the first time she heard we were bringing Jolene Brown, a world-renowned speaker, in. She's like, can I just take her to dinner and bounce some ideas off of her? And so I'm like, I'll give her, her assistant's name, you can do what you want. But Lynn has been a big part of our ideas, and she comes up with some fabulous ideas. And so, yeah, we work with a lot of people in the county.
Great. What else, commissioners?
You guys are busy.
Busy
Well,
place.
yeah, take your budget requests under consideration.
Okay, well, thank you for your time
See,
today.
you're not under any timetable prior to normal budget stuff.
Ours kind of is. We usually ask that if there's any way that we know something by September 1st, but I've sent the letter several times that say we have not heard back from our commissioners yet. But you guys usually do a very good job of getting back with us and letting us know. I think the only year that it was kind of a little hard is when you guys were having all those windmill meetings and stuff, where that was taking precedence over a lot of things. So a few meetings. You might have been there.
Since Dana always usually checks with me.
Yeah.
You know, when we get closer to that time and see
September 1st.
if we've set a date, like our public hearing date for
Right.
budget or anything yet, when they can expect that.
Well, we'll try to keep you informed as soon as we can.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you for your time today.
Thanks for coming in.
All right, have a
See you
good
guys.
day.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome to new girls.
Yeah, you're now moved into Seneca.
Thanks
Good.
for having their names all printed. there
Yes,
for me.
yes,
So
yes.
I had a little
Anything
cheat sheet.
Yes, anything you need, just let me know.
Okay,
All right.
thanks, have a good day.
When you fall asleep.
What are you doing? You're supposed to listen to all these people talk.
That's right.
He tuned us out a long time ago. Hi, Diane.
Hey, Diane, how you doing?
Good, good. Do you guys need a copy of this? It's the editor.
If you got an extra.
I do. I come on for you
I haven't
guys.
been able to get on my email in a while.
That's okay. There you go. You did fix your typo there, Gary.
Okay.
We did break it down like you requested, so that, hopefully that's a little more clear.
I think, but gonna be honest, I
No,
think the
please do.
transit, the capital outlay, people are gonna know that is ad valorem tax revenue.
But it's not tax revenue,
money from our non-emergency transportation account, so it has nothing to do with taxes. But okay, if you guys don't want us to put it in, that's fine. We just, I knew that, Dylan and wanted some input from our constituents, so that's why we thought we would clear it
Well,
up in the community.
in my opinion, I don't think it's necessary myself. People have had now 3 or 4 years to give input.
And that's why we brought it to you guys. If you don't want us to put it in the paper, that's absolutely fine.
The nail down on cost. $150 a square foot on a garage. That's what it was.
I think that's what he said, yeah.
So we figure out how big your bus was.
Yeah. Yeah, because we had not back to a stage where it was even what we were.
If you do print this, I would like for you to put the square footage of the building.
Sure, sure.
If you could find a way to write that in there, that way people know that it's just, 6,000 square feet. The number seems to come in my mind, I don't remember
I think
exactly.
it's 1 to 10. And that was what we-
I don't remember that, I mean,
Like I-
numbers still
Yeah.
here. I don't remember that number.
Yes.
Yeah, to me, the 97 there, county's responsibility, 97, that's deceiving, in my opinion.
In what way?
Well, we still don't know if the site is suitable and.
Right, there's other items in there, but we felt like they were asking for financials, and so we put this together. Again, if you don't
Is
think,
there better wording to put it in there again?
Well, the fact remains, we don't know for sure the county's responsibility. For sure.
meaning that if the site or what you have.
Yeah, well, yes.
We can't put a dollar sign on the balance.
Right. That was an
But
approximate.
this was the balance out of the 1.4, including all those above it.
I think it's, I'm gonna do the math. The true number, if you're gonna go, if you're building a project, we say go today. We say go today, true costs, if we completely wipe out the capital outlay, because it's, the true cost is 616, the county's actually paying. The remaining will have to make up because she's got 351, the true cost additional really is about 240. Because we're not getting 125,000 for next area this year. So if we build it this year, we're gonna have to, we'll be writing a check for 616, but we gotta come up with another 240 this year. Additional, that's not sitting in the capital outlay, so we're gonna have to pull it from somewhere. Now, hopefully, I guess a lot of it depends on how the creek 125 is exactly when.
When we get done.
Right, I'm guessing 2022, but
It'll be 2022. I talked to Shane from CFS the other day, they haven't even started over there. That's well, they're still, when I asked him, he doesn't think it'll be wrapped up by December.
do you think they're trying to have that, they're trying to get the power lines ran before you do that?
No,
Turbines, no, that's gonna be after.
it's all the same thing. I mean, there's two different crews working. But even if the power lines are done, I don't, the way that's written, you don't get that till the whole project is completed.
Right, right, and so, like I said, we won't get that.
But we, at some
Until
point, we could get that
2022.
compensated, so.
Yeah, it'd be in the following fiscal years when we would be compensated for that. I see where you're going with it. Well, the 1.5 is kind of iffy on this yet. Where that's gonna come from.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna be honest with you.
Sure.
You got 351 there,
Mhm.
but that's the next question.
And we talked about some potential changes to house the buses and stuff. The 1.4 won't catch those changes.
It's probably, in my humble estimation, it's probably gonna be closer to 1.5.
Mhm.
Is where it's gonna be.
Right.
You're gonna have to have changes or
That's.
they'll
what
pick up a
most
percentage of
construction,
that.
There is some changes.
You always have, yeah,
Right.
something that comes up when you look at it, just
Mhm.
it's different. than Realistically, probably closer to 1.5. I know the state, because that'll all be on transportation, so that'll be a percentage.
Mhm.
That cost.
Right, it'd be a heavy, we would rely heavier on transportation and KDOT doing those. That 70-30 split.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, if you're not a go for this project, then just let us know so we can just move on. And, I mean, ultimately, Jason and Dylan, you guys can decide if you want to move forward with this. If you don't, that's fine. We have been discussing other avenues for our office and would like to use that 351, to still get some kind of garage for the drivers and vans. We can discuss that at a later date. We just, the project we cared about and,
Yeah, well, but a decision needs to be
Sure.
made soon.
right.
I guess right now, what we got is this, that we want to go ahead with.
Well, I like the input from the constituents. I have no
Right.
problem with that.
Right,
But like I said from the beginning, Diane, I don't like the price and I don't like the location.
Okay,
I mean, that's my take on the whole thing.
that's fine. So we'll table the editor letter and, some point come back with, maybe some suggestions for our office and garage. That would give you guys. Because we've got 6 people in that tiny room, and we did it because we thought we were getting a building, but we can share. I mean, there's days that it's very loud in that room.
I think because, and she doesn't have her own office space.
For
as
personnel
director
things?
Or anything personnel wise.
yeah, well, a decision needs to be made on whether we proceed with the project period.
Right.
Yes.
And then if something else comes
Right.
along about more room and so
Exactly.
forth and so on, we can address that.
Later
at
on,
the time.
right. Mhm.
So,
Did it give you a date?
Say again?
Did Clay ever give you a date?
No. I forwarded you that, email from Corey. He pretty much said,
Everybody say Clay.
it's okay. I did forward, did you see that email from
I
Corey?
haven't gotten the email in a while.
Do we forward it to you? I mean, it basically, by the end, June 30th is kind of
Is what
what,
he wants.
yeah, or before. So, yeah.
yeah, they need to know.
Yeah. So,
And we can schedule, I don't know if we need to schedule a time, but we need to talk about it. some more, I
okay, that's
guess.
fine, not a problem. Okay, guys. Sounds good. Thanks.
Okay,
How's being open doing? Did more people come in?
Yes, yeah, every day we're getting a few more. So, yep. We're almost up to, where we were a year ago. We still have a few people that have just stayed home delivery, but majority, yeah, we're running 40 to 45 every day. So, good thing.
Oh, the freezers. You bought them in for the second one?
We haven't got the second one in yet. No, we're still waiting on that. So, the loaner for now.
Okay.
And and we're, getting reimbursed for that, backup camera, and of course, they're sending us another one.
What else is new?
Yeah, GM, I guess, had some major issues with that, so, we're still covering it, so. Because it is critical for the people that deliver, you know, they need that backup. Heck, I love my backup camera, so.
How's the truck working out, man? We got some miles on it.
Good, good, they really love it.
Talked to a couple other people that bought one.
Oh, yeah, I have weekly Tuesday afternoon meetings, and so with KDAS, a lot of other nutrition providers, and we've had 3 people after I talked about it, reach out and, well, we were one of those, because it's so nice to be able to have consistent temperatures, because that's one of the requirements for KDAS, is that you have consistent food temperatures, and so it's just nice to have them in there and pull them out, and don't have to worry about it.
You guys still talking about doing, at one point, you heard some of us talking about having meals ordered in community buildings, like a burner or some
Mhm, that was me, yeah.
Okay.
If
Having them come in.
we would have to at least get another convection oven for a lane, but now that we have the 2 freezers, that's also gonna help, you know, but, we'll probably have to go to the second convection. But, you know, with that 351, that's something we can use the capital outlay for that electrical and that convection oven, maybe $2,000. So yeah, that's still a goal to at least, we can't maybe do every week or every day. I mean, we would at least do certain areas, different days where they could get, you know, hot meals a couple days a week. So, yeah.
Vehicles, did you get that fixed, the doors and all that done?
Mhm. Yeah, Masters, yes, yeah, got that taken care of.
I know.
Everything else is going really well. Nancy's picking up.
Very much so.
Is,
I've been seeing the, vans running around.
yeah,
They're running, all of them are running today.
yeah.
The most tomorrow.
Yeah,
I think pretty busy.
Yeah, we've had a ton of trips down to Speakout, both Medicaid and just local individuals. A lot of local people call us to take that. You know, $60 to go down to Speakout is pretty nice. That way that family member doesn't have to take off the day from work. You know, it's nice for us to be able to provide that.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you
So much. Have a good day, ladies.
Yeah.
See ya. So I recognize you, sir. I can't remember your name. You have something in particular?
Smelsley, Mike from the Comprehensive Plan Committee.
Oh, you're Michael.
Yeah,
Well, great.
I'm not a good emailer and texter and communicator, but, you know,
Yeah.
I figured, well, I'll talk today, and I couldn't remember if you guys met today or not.
Well, no, you got, we got, let's see.
You know, progress is going, you know, I think the committee members are kind of, we're not where we need to be with our progress with the surveys and with the according to the billing, they seem to think we're lagging behind just because of some of the questions and stuff. We're going through the questionnaire phase yet, and it seems like that a lot of the questions we're going to have to rework and redo and stuff like this to get a good survey to go out. There was also, you know, of what the billing was and how we are tracking, and we are a little bit behind of where he anticipated us to be at this time. I did get in touch with Mr. Winger about the aerial photos. Right at this time, we're not to that point yet, but thanks for the name.
Right, well, keep it in mind, and I mean, that'll be up to you guys. You don't wanna do that, that's great.
Yeah.
But if that pretties the thing up and he charges you whatever, why, come to us with a
Yeah.
number.
And I don't have no
So-
price or anything like that. Like I
Right.
said, we just haven't gotten to that.
Right.
And also in the contract too, I believe with him, it said something about a liaison that the county was gonna maybe submit or help us with, either a county personnel when it first started, for communication between the county and the committee members and Mr. Marvin. I think I don't have that contract with me of the phases of where we're at, but, the county was gonna maybe help us out with a liaison, be it maybe in from the office or whatever, to kind of help communicate. I don't have that in front of me right now, but that was kind of brought up at the last meeting, that we haven't done that, in order to stay where we're at.
Well, what needs done there, Michael?
So who do you have
concerning
somebody
that?
in mind?
I think at that time, it wasn't, they didn't feel like it was the committee members to do it, or Keith Marvin. Keith Marvin has hired some more personnel in his office to kind of keep up speed. But I think they was gonna I thought maybe somebody was gonna come from like the county clerk's office, or somebody from the courthouse that was gonna maybe use that as a liaison. But
And this individual would attend meetings?
would attend the meetings and kind
Okay.
of report.
Okay. I guess, in my recollection, maybe is since Nancy, a volunteer to
For the
attend meetings
secretarial
and get
duty.
minutes out to all of us,
That maybe that was it.
that maybe that would be enough. Now, if you guys feel like something else needs done, I haven't got Nancy, well, you haven't either, but I haven't got minutes from the prior meeting. Is Nancy just?
I think we was kind of waiting to get them approved and whatever. I think
Yeah,
she said
okay.
not actually
So-
approve them, so.
Right, okay,
and that, but
okay.
I just thought I'd touch base with
Probably
you
why
guys,
you want a liaison, so there's a little bit more.
little bit more communication. I
Such a lag.
don't know if we're dropping the ball, or if Keith Marvin's dropping the ball, or, but,
Let me ask you a question, how's that going? I know the last time we had a couple committee members in here.
it seems like some of these questions and stuff like this, that he's, it seems like we've got to look back and review that we ain't getting enough done in our meetings, that, when you hire somebody and you expect them, and they've done this for a long time, you expect, here's a plan, look it over and get it approved and move right on with the situation. Or our situation's a little bit different than all the other counties that he's done. And it seems like, personal opinion, it seems like that he's, cut and pasting the plans that he's had, like from Corning, Wetmore, Byrne, Ellis County. They're all kind of cut and pasted and project together, that he had a plan. This is what it's going to be. And if we're going to go through this with a county, we want to do it right. We want to make it shine. It's our comprehensive plan for our county. And we want to ask the right questions to get, I know a lot of the questions on the survey revert back to, just general population of how satisfied you are with the county. Well, also, we got to look at the industrial end too. How are we going to draw people to our county to make it shine, to make it better, to pull in employment, growth, comprehensive plan. What can we do to make it grow? We're trying to, and I know they have said on surveys that, like I said, we're working out on surveys, our questions, and we don't want to lead them into something that, you get a yes, no, just negative answer. We're trying to get replies. Well, you get a lot of survey questions. People don't want to take the time to do that. And a lot of times he says, well, if you get 25-30% surveys that come back, we're trying to find places like libraries, courthouse, maybe to put a drop box so people can have more access to the surveys, or if they don't want to do it online, do it so that they have a central drop box, so that we get a good survey. He's saying that, survey, if you get the best out of 25-30% of the population of the county, that's well, is that going to be enough to make the decisions of what we can hand to you to say, this is a fly or no fly deal? Either way, zoning, no zoning, is that going to be the right way to go?
We always like it as much input.
Input is what we can, and the right questions, you know, I mean, you know, that we get the right feedback. You know,
It kind of saved me an email. We were talking about some of that. I read some of your guys' minutes, but in some of the questions. I understand what you're saying on some of the questions. It needs to be, I think, more tailored for the county.
There's a lot of them, like you said.
Some of them were kind of confusing.
Yeah.
I mean, and we're trying to fine tune that a little bit, and that's what's taking the time. And, you know, we still don't have our bylaws approved yet because of, you know, him trying to communicate with Brad Lippert, and Brad, you know, it seems like it should be an easy deal, but it hasn't. Oh, and, you know, we're wasting time, you know, we're 6-8 months into the program, you know, and we're just getting stuff going really, you know, and if he's submitting
Still on the bylaws.
for his time, yeah.
Well, one of those, what was holding you back on the bylaws was the resolution that we did indicating you had to have a majority of the whole to pass anything. So that, yeah, I mean, that was one of the things. And I think, I mean.
And I think he communicated to you today something about, we had a question about the virtual,
Right.
virtual meetings or something like this. It's good in a way, but yet again, are we gonna be to the point where people abuse that? You know, I mean, you know, it's tough to get committee members, but yet again, if you're gonna be a committee member, you like to show up to the meetings, you know what I mean?
Well, and I think that needs to be left up to you guys. I don't want to dictate that to you guys. I think that needs to be to you, and that's what you need Brad for from a legal perspective, I mean.
To go from there. We had some questions, and I think they've been communicating, but he's slow about getting stuff back to us, you know, a couple nights before, you know, we try to get him to pinpoint, you know, the Thursday before the meeting, try to get everything done. Well, you know, here we are midweek again, and we, you know, the committee, you know, is down on his communication with us. You know, he'll wait till the last minute and just stuff like that. But
Well, I think, I'd like to leave it, I mean, we have, and so do you, I think, an outline of when Keith is paid. I'd like to leave that up to you, Michael, as chair, to indicate to us, because I think we have one outstanding right now that we haven't paid. And maybe talk to Mary Kay about that. And do you feel like that we're past that point? And if not, then we're not gonna remit it. If you feel like we are, then we'll send him a check. But I think.
Well, I think at this time, my committee would probably say that we're probably not to that point yet. But
Yeah, okay. Well, that's what we need to know. And don't be afraid to ask. I mean, we went through that with Brad in here initially.
Like I said, I was off today and I didn't know you guys was, you know, when you was meeting. So I thought, well, I'll take a chance and run up.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to talk to you.
Kind of give you a heads up of where we're at and how the progress is, you know, and I didn't know if you guys had any questions for me that I could bring back to the committee, you know.
There was a couple of them. I think the first one is we were wanting to look at having the county run
Right.
versus township. We'd like to have that put in there.
Let's put that in the survey. I'm getting feedback about that already without it even being in the survey, but I'd still like to put that in the survey.
Yeah, I mean, it's one more
Well,
question.
and just input from the comprehensive plan committee. I mean, you know, what,
Looks like this whole thing kind of got put together because of the wind turbines. I'd probably like to see a few more questions in there about, you know, renewable energy in general, whether it be solar or wind or. I think the one you got was only one question, basically, just one general question. It'd be nice if there was, you know, 2 or 3, because like you said before, if you don't go to zoning, you want more setbacks.
Well, that's kind of what where we're at. We're trying to fine tune our questions, you know, and to
Well,
go.
we've got a solar project sitting in the lead right now, so any of those kind of questions really help us out.
You know.
What people want.
And, you know, they'll generate income, you know,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
and that, so.
yeah, well, and I think
I mean-
we've, Go ahead.
it's not our place to say yay or nay, it's you guys, but, you know, we're trying to get our information to you the best we can,
Right.
you know?
I think the other thing I had was the Survey Monkey. I noticed he was gonna do that, where you do a QR scan, you know, pull it up. That's nice. Is there any way to make sure that, so people in Nemaw County are getting that and not like some kids
Yeah,
messing around or just?
Keith has probably got that figured out, you know, a Survey Monkey, because he's dealt with that, but, you know.
I can see a lot of people using it, because it's real easy to use your phone and do that if you're waiting at a ball game.
And then,
Right.
you know, one of our concerns was also, you know, to get multiple people, multiple times to get a false reading, then, you know, a Survey Monkey, you know, so, you know.
Well, they get on their phone and they fill half of it out and then they lose internet connection and do.
Lose internet connection, and then you gotta go back and
Right.
stuff like that, so that's where we're at. So, that's what I'll do, I thought I'd come up personally and see what you guys.
Well,
you know.
and I think, myself and all of us, I think, have sensed some frustration by committee members about various things. And I guess I just, you know.
It's our concern, I mean, kind of our concern, because we wanna put a good product out there.
Well, and I'll just, I guess, remind you that, you know, and you know what, this project was, he said from the get-go, 18 to 24 months as a minimum. And you guys, I know you're committed to putting out a good document. That's what you want to do. That's what we all, you're going to do the best you can do. And, you know, to me, if it takes 28 months, I mean, to me, if that's what it takes for you guys to feel good about the document you put out, then that to me is not a big deal.
Right.
And, you know, you're not meeting every day.
Right,
You're meeting once a month.
You know, and it's
You
tough
know?
for us to get a lot done in 2 hours' time,
Yeah.
and it's more frustrating when you gotta go back around and reinvent the wheel. You know.
We faced that here, we only meet once a week, so you guys, you know, you only meet 25% of the time that we do, so it's hard.
Yeah.
So,
If there's any recommendations or anything you guys want to vote on to help, you need our help to push anything along or get stuff done that you think needs to be done with Mr. Marvin or any other process, let us know.
Yeah, well, and some of the committee members was surprised that he, you know, his income that he's claimed already versus where we're at and the type of the workman. It's getting better, you know, the type of the workmanship's a lot better, you know, you know. to go
I
from
think
there.
that was one of the first reports, and you guys was doing all type of typos or fixing all the wording and documenting the questions versus just
So
discussing
he's
what the question was.
supposed to have somebody from K-State hired to also help him now, you know, that, you know, with his stuff getting bigger, he's got a more clientele.
he'd cut in a pretty big swath.
Yeah.
And he, I mean, he admitted to me that, you know, I need help. And he's,
You know,
and
and-
he's got some, and,
You know.
so.
But that's all I
Yeah.
have. I mean, I
Yeah.
wanted to touch base with you
Yeah.
guys. Like I
Well,
said,
appreciate you coming in, apologize I
It's gonna be
didn't.
tough for you to
Well,
get.
good, that saves me an email, now you can just relate. That's right. You
Being-
can just come more often.
Being tech savvy, you know. Well, I appreciate you guys doing.
Thanks for
what you
coming
can.
in, Michael,
You bet.
thanks for what you're doing.
You bet.
Well,
Well,
big
as
job.
you said, we wanna take and put a piece of work out there that shines.
Yeah.
You know.
Thanks for all you guys for doing your civic
Yeah.
duty. You haven't received a paycheck yet. And don't expect one, by the way. Better get that out
We're
there.
gonna
too.
reap the benefits though, you
Yeah,
know?
there you go. Well, and we all hope to. Yeah.
Go from there. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Right.
He was waiting for me to say, hey, Gary.
And we talked about that. And Doug says we can't after the fact do some, hey, should have thought about that when I started mine.
Well, that one's stacked too.
Her car.
You mean insurance business, good, man.
Another department head here, we got to move on. Is that Russell's card making machine? We finally get it fixed.
I think so, yeah, the ID machine,
Something about that, yeah.
yeah. How much was it? $700? $765.
Does he charge for those? I mean, I know people come from Savatha to get those badges and stuff.
I doubt he does if it's somebody, somebody associated with Humboldt
Within
County.
the county.
But then if it's another,
Right.
you know, organization wanting to use it, then it would probably is. I don't know.
Fix it. Good, makes it do that.
Huh? Oh, the inmate one's great.
Isn't it? Good, makes it.
You seen minutes?
Nope.
And you saw the rest of this stuff, Dylan, or those?
I read the minutes. I
Yeah.
didn't see.
Yeah, all right. I'll leave them all together when you get done there.
It is. It's just for this month, that's true.
Whose department? Sheriff's?
This is an employer, this is an employee. And
So, yeah. So that's. Reliance Standard, that's just another,
That is the company that took over, so that's the life insurance policy provided for every employee. And they took over from another company It was just through Nationwide, I believe.
I see.
So they're no longer doing it, so this is the company that's picking that up. And it's still through SBS Insurance, just
I
like the
see.
Nationwide was.
You'll like that, yeah. It goes on for like a year and a half, you think if I get them turned in a timely fashion. Look at all the big.
So I know what you're talking about there. So I guess that,
Oh,
I was thinking, we had talked about earlier that the only phone that the county owned was for, out of the landfill for Joe, but we own this phone as well.
Which phone? Liberty's?
Right.
We paid for that phone.
and he got a new one, didn't he? He mentioned that in here, he was gonna get a new one. Is that right?
Dylan got a new one.
I think so.
Dylan needs a new one.
That guy got a
Get
new
an
one.
email for crying
I
out
got a new
loud.
one.
Let's buy him one.
Now you just gotta get it, so you
But if
can
you're
see his
reimbursing,
email.
we would have been paying the service on it though.
I mean, for some reason, it's in his name yet, and he pays the bill, and then he
He
just
owns the
asks.
phone.
No, I believe the county owns the phone. I mean, I shouldn't say we own it, but we paid for it. It's
Paid
not
for
like,
the service or actually,
no, we actually paid for the phone,
okay,
and
so
are also paying for
was
the
that his?
service.
My question is, does he retain ownership of it?
That's never came up, I guess.
Because at some point, he's gonna have to upgrade that phone.
Right,
Is that a one-time contribution, or is that every time he wants to upgrade it, or
I think
the next
every
one's on
time,
him? I would assume they have their own phones, or their own plans, and we just,
do the
here's
$40.
$45 a month, there
Yeah.
you go, have at it.
I was wondering
You want a
why
new
we
phone,
don't
get a new
do
phone.
that, so we
If
may
you-
have to have a conversation.
Well, if you
Yeah.
drop it in a pool, you gotta.
Maybe there's a
phone.
reason that I'm not aware of it.
I'd rather just do that unless it's for your cellular service to be reimbursed.
Yeah.
And then you can drop your phone in the pool.
Watching the cardboard boat race.
Yep.
Got a sandwich.
You got it today? I'll take it.
You want a sandwich? Yeah.
Is it my turn?
It is, but since you're all good.
Are you sure? Yeah. Okay. I guess so.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Manual.
Yeah, I think so.
How do we have? So,
Oh, wait a minute, boy. He's so hungry, buddy.
so where are you getting overtime on these?
Down here, on career. Paid income. Took it over the back page, that's the bottom after that. That's what we were paid in overtime just for a month.
Oh, 12,000.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well,
Yeah.
most of that's gonna be sheriff's department.
Is it? Yeah. I'm just looking at the other one on this side of the page. And employer contributions. You got that back there? Basically, what we're budgeting is $2 million.
So what are you figuring there now?
Yes.
Oh. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
all
Oh,
those
yeah,
things
yeah,
rolled
yeah, yeah.
in.
Employee benefits. Yeah. It's, costs a fortune.
I got an email that I sent to you. There's, we were talking about what to do with this. He doesn't have one HR guy. I mean, talking to all HR guys. We sent this out for each one, all the laws for state, local, big business, small business, specifically all they do and it's hired per hour. And so they do like handbooks, they do all this stuff in the state, and you just hire them, for instance, or have order, do, but they can probably answer a lot of the questions, take questions and stuff that they sort out. I think this guy might be beneficial, because he knows all the laws.
Yeah.
What you can't do, whether it's a government or private business. And how to handle it or the best way, and so that is specifically all they handle, is HR. These are the guys that you should be able to send out letters to, people send them to.
I can tell you that we had Tracy,
Sites, who was kind of an HR,
you know Tracy. And we spent a lot of hours with her.
Yeah.
Went through it, piece by piece, line by line, and she was very good.
Well, she's moved. That's one.
Right, well, let me finish the story. I can tell you that Brad looked over a lot of that stuff and he changed all of it. I guess from a legal standpoint. So, I'm just getting that out there, yeah.
Like if you run the agenda, this guy would be between here, visit this
Yeah. And he's not a local guy, you said.
I don't know.
Oh,
It's the hardest one out of all. They specifically work with hiding brothers.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know what, I mean, I don't know how much you paid Tracy. Doesn't matter, but. Anyhow.
So it'd be nice to see what he's got to say.
Yeah.
Brochure, whatever they can do.
Mm-hmm. Well, ideas.
Yeah.
You know, something, I don't know.
And they've all got years and years of experience with.
Right.
People in those issues, and how best to handle it.
Most of these benefit stuff, they're done, aren't they, Mary Kay?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. I think we're done with everything.
Yeah.
So I think when you guys get through with these, you can go ahead and
Yeah.
approve, make a motion.
Oh, really? With these that we got? Okay.
Yep. I thought I had everything. Even all the payroll stuff.
Mary Kay, would you like it, when they get back with the food, would you like a 20-minute recess to eat?
Either way, I'm good. I'm okay.
I just didn't know if you on camera or not.
Yeah. Well, I can kind of sit over here like that.
She can hide.
You guys can't, so if you want to do that, that's fine.
The bulk of that group probably gonna be, that's sheriff's office.
I would assume that. but
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think maybe Road Bridge had some on last month, if I remember right, but. I can tell you what Rich will say about that, and it's still not gonna stop that. That's the part. He's gonna have overtime no matter what you do.
Now, you guys are running the clock.
Well, yeah. Somebody's involved in an accident at 4 o'clock and they're supposed to get off 4:30 and there's nobody else to do that. And it takes them 2 hours to work the rack.
This guy's probably working on salary, isn't it?
No. So that Betty, that's appraiser contract, that's new software that she gets every year or something.
Is that through that Robbie Singer?
Well, this is Century Business Technologies.
No, that's just for her copier.
Oh,
That's-
it
That's
is.
for her copier, yeah.
Oh. That's an annual contract.
This guy would put some salt on it. For what? Oh, no, wait, who's this? That's the new, this is his.
Oh.
There's a couple of them. Got your notary updated, huh?
Yes, working on it anyway here. It expires here July something.
Alexandra Belvia, court appointed attorney. You heard of her, I guess.
Well, the only reason I have is I think we paid her last month.
Oh, did we? Okay.
That's the only reason.
Holden, attorney-at-law Holden, okay, I wondered if she wasn't Holden.
Otherwise, I probably wouldn't.
A lot of pollution control permits. Let's see.
Right, Mary Kay, always, she highlights the one for us, yeah,
Oh,
see there, Anderson, that's all over the state.
That's all it is.
Yeah, so you really just need to look at the one that's highlighted.
She
One, or
doesn't,
sometimes there's more than one, but I think this time it's only one.
she doesn't get paid enough to do that highlighting for us. It's just the friends that she does for us, we really appreciate, I do appreciate that. I don't wanna have to be looking for them, I look for the highlight and I'm done.
Did you notice the name of the facility I particularly?
The Naked
like?
Bungalow?
Yeah. I laughed when I saw that.
It was
I'm
the
like,
Naked
that's
Bungalow.
creative.
On this?
Yeah.
That's the address, that's what they must call the office.
Or that site or something, you know what I mean?
Oh, I didn't see that.
That's the address.
You know, Bird Cancer Basin.
I thought that was like, well, that's creative. Somebody was really thinking.
Yeah, good for those guys. Right in that day.
I'm back.
Fine.
Because Eric quit talking about you.
Pretty cool subject.
Did we have the cemetery thing, the next one on my list? Is that his amount?
Is that what?
Gerald's amount, says 2,400. Is that,
I think it's,
I know you showed us a contract one time.
yeah, I believe it's 2,400 the first part of the summer and then another at the end of the summer. For a total of 4,800 for all of them. that he
He's
does.
got like 10 of them or something?
I mean, did we figure that out? We figured it
Yeah.
out. It was 10 or 12.
Sounds right. Question?
We think fix 2 tires and then they would put 4 new tires on.
Which one is this?
These, is that the test of the sprinkler system?
This is the test that this one here anyway. Yeah, each of these is say the annual backflow. That's the test that the city requires us to do, and there's two of them they have to do here at the courthouse. One's in the mechanical room, and then one is for the sprinkler system. And then there's one over in the Pioneer building.
And these guys, the ones that do it.
Yeah. I mean, that's one. Eisenbars can also do it, but there's a couple different.
They've been doing it, these guys,
The last
I think.
couple
Yeah,
of years.
yeah, I just thought.
Yeah, but we are required by the city to have that done annually. They send out a letter reminding us that it needs to be.
Probably didn't have a time, it's got a date. 72,368. So they haven't fixed since the death, and majority of the syndicate has new tires for it.
And it is all for the same vehicle, for sure.
It says the vehicle number.
That's what I'm saying.
Gerald.
I put a county plate on my own vehicle.
I don't know if you can do that though.
That's not a perk of working here.
Not that I know of. Nobody's told me about that one yet.
You haven't tried it yourself?
Oh, no, I haven't. Yes, I think from like some of their runs, transportation runs, yeah. Yep.
No, we got charged $24.50 to remove a tire that didn't have a leak in it. Put it back on, and then they went to the right rear, took it off and matched it. $24.50 and $28 to fix the tire.
Forgot which tire went down. You haven't heard from Brad, but I know he's not gonna be here.
I just know that that's what I have written in the book.
Is it okay? Yeah,
Was
I
that-
talked to them the other day, so they're on the way home, but they would not be home.
When we get these bills for the clothing, you keep track of that, don't you? That's $100 a year.
Mhm.
You keep track of that, so if somebody tries to run something twice.
Randy keeps track of the ones for, our office. I don't know, I think each office kind of takes care, each department head takes
Takes
care
care
of
of their own
their.
department.
I think
That's what I'm
Kathy
trying
said
to
the
say.
same.
Kathy shoots an eye on over there.
Yes, I would assume she does, yes.
Just trying to learn.
Yep, no, that's fine.
And what they get, look, making sure it's okay. I'm tired of seeing that. That's what he's basically doing.
Right. And I do know some folks who try to get their foot in the door and dab rats, shirts and stuff. Quite honest. Some that are close to me and Karen can tell them for the sheriff's department. We also once in a while. Didn't we just put down $68,000? What do we have, a credit?
They're paying out of that, though. They just bought it, orange.
Well, yeah.
And they're just saying they're not using that much. Look at fuel barrel, I mean, in all honesty, look at the fuel barrel, we can put up and see that back. Or the sheriff can pull out of it, and these guys can pull out of it. And then down at,
The only place that we really would have would be out there to the hoop shed malice.
Well, we can put them into your driveway, you can kind of
That,
watch over it.
yeah, well, I can tell you one thing. Kara Scobie, when she went to college, she just went down to my barrel and filled her car out. So she was called up about half hopping mad in Manhattan when she went to the gas station and she called and said, well, I gotta pay for this? She'd never heard of such a thing. You just get it out of the tank. It's free.
How many of our friends was filling up out of your gas barrel, Gary?
Yeah, well, that's happened before.
Don't worry.
Well, they weren't friends, but yeah. Yeah, that,
This is some money, huh?
He said he was gonna stock up.
Riches. What do we got, 4,000?
That surprised me.
You guys come in here.
I'm glad you brought him to another action-packed thriller meeting.
Lock you guys in a room and read papers in silence.
Hey, I'll let you come and look through these fellas, see how much fun it is.
Holy fat mother, goodness. What is this one on?
What now?
What building is that on? Lights and water?
LEC, oh yeah, that's a standalone deal.
Law enforcement.
And just, if we, with current plans, there'd be another one like that on there too.
No.
It doesn't get mentioned.
That's a lot. Lights and water. I can run the generator, but cheap.
Oh, you can't.
How are you, Mandy?
I'm good.
Thanks, Mandy.
Oh, I lost it.
Good, What do you got laminated there, special deals?
Came from Patty.
What are they? Let me see them. They're for you?
No, I don't, Patty told me just to come pick them up, so I don't know what they
District 1, 2. Oh, well, that's our districts.
Like Commissioner.
Oh, yeah, that's Commissioner Districts.
Did you guys order those?
No, but I don't think I'm.
Then
Hey, she brought them in, fella. You take them away
I
from
don't
her,
know.
not
Come
me.
on.
I don't know if they've like.
Hey,
Let me review it a little.
Were you expecting me from Patty or something?
Oh, yeah,
Okay, I'll just set them on your desk.
yeah, they can't have them.
Ah, he already took one. I took it out
I
of his
might put
hands.
one over here, but one have to go in my office too.
Yeah, so I picked them up. She told me to come pick them up.
Just lay them on my desk.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Thank you. So, the filing deadline just passed. And
Oh, did? So what's
we
the
are-
deal?
We are having a primary. In 115, position 1. We have,
Who are the four?
gosh, I should grab the paper.
Dallinghouse.
Let me
Yeah,
just
go
go
to
get
who
the
all
paper.
five? I wanna see this. That'll be interesting.
That'll just show you, we'll have to canvass those votes, by the way.
They just shut down today. I forgot about that.
Four. Top 2 go on. Yeah, we'll have to can, but I think you'll only have to have one polling place open.
Also, lazy with ECA to see if I can get him around. I forgot all about it.
Uh-oh.
Too late. I was busy yesterday, looking at old big cars.
Old big cars.
1970 Oldsmobile, 1998.
A 98.
Pretty good shape. He wanted more than I wanted to spend, so I let it sit there. He said it's 224 inches long.
My son's dad had it. He had one of those 68 Cadillacs with the and so and we actually had it in my house at one time. We just drive it for a while. And then he took it and we moved it. He took it back. I mean, it was his car, but Well,
She won't even let me have that number.
Ian's printing a copy to bring it over
Can I see
here.
that card?
The man you just had?
I'll take it. My accident with the card. Get back in here, please. Them old cars like that are cool, especially when they're already moving. You know, this one drove.
No, did
It
it?
started, how do you advertise? It started, moved, and stopped.
I'm sure Patty would make you one if you asked her.
I mean, it just had a lot of little stuff that I got too
That'd
many
be awesome.
projects.
Body, probably
We were
good
just
shape,
talking about
decent shape,
The
was it?
fact
They've
that
been repainted.
Shed it.
Sigmund Road came up the other day, and I said, I had no idea where that was. She said, here, I got something out for you. So if you ask her, I'm sure she'll make you one. But I like it because it's got the 911 road name on there, plus the old road name on
Yeah.
there. So,
So the 911, oh, I see. Yeah,
See
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. The red, what's this red mean? That's just designated Stringtown, Lillis. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, those are nice. Should have ordered. Patty did those for you?
yeah, would you, I can ask her to make some.
That'd be
more if
great.
you'd
I
like.
would love one of those.
Okay.
The highlighted
Those actually are
roads.
really
and
nice.
the, well, that's just what the parallel road, they have Nightingale Turnpike there. I couldn't read, vertically, yeah. Cause that's what the guys, I mean, they all refer to them as,
Yep.
you go to Stringtown. and
Yeah, I'll see if she'll do that. So that should be that's the only primary that I'm aware of unless like 380
You
or
got who's
something.
running in each one?
I'm sorry.
Who's running in each district?
Deanne's gonna bring a copy over here for you to look at. She's printing it, but, unless like USD 380 would have something, cause see, we're involved in that, but we're not the home county. So they would go to Marshall County, the home county would file.
You'd still have to open a polling place.
We may, yeah. So
Will
we'll
one
have
be
to see.
enough for this
I think
school
so,
board?
yes, I think so.
Well,
Especially because it'll be at the community building here and that'll be.
plenty of space.
But now, since this is thank you. Since would be an election that's not the whole county votes in, it'll be up to the school district to reimburse us the cost for this election. Since the whole county's not voting. So that's the entire list. 115's on there somewhere.
Right. So city of Gulf, mayor and council members, is that, you'll have nobody there? Does that mean there's an open, or the position is filled now, or is it?
No, it's filled now, but it's up for election and nobody filed, so
I see.
they'll probably just get elected by write-ins. Yeah, so that'll be fun.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
John Howard, who's he? There's a John Howard, how many John Howards are there? Seneca address. There's your four there. You ever heard of him? Dr. Tony.
Oh, yeah. He used to be, the only thing I know about it is he used to be a pharmacist at a Shopco until they closed. I think somebody said now he works at the Valley Vet Clinic in, Marysville. They live here in Sunny. And no, I don't know how you say.
Oh, you had
his
a
name.
couple, oh, you did debate on the file, so you had two that came in late, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, we had some filing to get this morning. They had until noon today.
You almost had two primary. Wow,
Yep,
wow. I guess you gotta do one, what's wrong with two, right?
I know.
So yeah, you'll have one for position 2, 115.
No, just position one.
Yeah, cause
You've
it's
got
almost, he
3
had three
candidates.
here.
Had to have four, at least four.
So she almost had two primaries, and you has to do 1 to 5. And then you have those two unopposed.
All that would have made was more for them to vote on the ballot. You know what I mean? Well, I
Right,
shouldn't say that, but that's not true. It would have created two different ballots. Because the only people that can vote on 115 position 1 are the ones that live in that district.
Mhm.
The only ones that can vote on position 2 have to live in that district.
You had one
Julie
on,
Bernheide.
So it would have created two ballots.
one position on 2 different ballots.
Right.
Yeah.
Cody Fletcher's running for mayor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is Bernheide Julie, she the,
She's, Commissioner of, Streets, I think.
so your mayor sat down, was that,
Doug Clark.
Clark?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he was more than willing to serve again, but I think he was tickled when somebody else did. That I'm not gonna file.
Yeah.
Get into the food?
I'm not passionate.
That sounds good.
I'm surprised Parker didn't take a dive in that.
Nobody ran for mayor golf?
I'm not gonna hand it to you.
No. Hey, that's not a laughing
So,
matter. Wait till you canvass ballots, what a mess that
Gotta fight great paper,
They're
Sam.
all right, they're all
42 write-ins for that
Yeah.
position.
Smoke turkey,
Yeah.
and Henry's Club 20.
That's enough for Parker. What are you guys gonna eat?
You don't have a choice today. Pick one.
Yeah, I don't care what I do.
That was pretty good. Okay, how do you let them two fight over that? Okay.
What you got left?
Henry Club plain and the turkey.
Thank you, sir.
Perfect. I like turkey. Thank you. Thanks for taking
Doug
care of
Randy.
it. I should.
Yeah.
So we'll have one, at least one election. Position 4 anyways, I'll have to vote on.
Mm-hmm.
That's got me interested. The people.
As I say, that's the most interest I've seen in a while.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, usually.
Well, that's good.
Usually
That's
it's like
wonderful.
the superintendent or whatever, they're just trying to get somebody, one person to file for
Right,
every
somebody.
position. Somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, I met Leslie Shelby, she filed here several years ago. She was going in the house, she was coming out of the house. That got, she was in her and I said, where are you going? I'm going over to file. I said, file for what?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to recess the meeting for 20 minutes.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
Yeah. Okay, further discussion, hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye, pose same sign.
So that would be 12:35.
12:35.
This is seconded. Motion carries. We are recessing until 12:35 for a quick lunch.
So, and you're not quite half done with payroll.